You know what's funny? Some stories never actually end. They just go quiet for a while, let you think they're done, and then they come back louder than ever, with lawyers, lawsuits, and a whole lot of money on the line. That's exactly what's happening right now with Kim Kardashian and Ray J. And if you think you already know this story, I promise you, you don't know the half of it. Let's rewind for a second, because context matters here. The tape, everyone knows about it. It came out years ago, made headlines, changed careers, and honestly, changed pop culture. But what most people didn't realize at the time was that behind all the drama, there were settlements being signed, money changing hands, and a very specific agreement about what could and could not be said publicly. Kim and her team worked hard to keep the financial details of that settlement completely sealed, away from the public, away from media, locked behind legal walls. And for a while, it worked. Nobody knew the exact numbers. Nobody knew the terms.
The judge has denied Kardashian's request to seal a reported $6 million confidential settlement.
It was all carefully buried. Then, the courts got involved. Kim's legal team filed to keep the settlement sealed, arguing that making those details public would cause harm. Reputational, personal, professional. They leaned hard on privacy protections and the kind of legal language that's usually enough to keep documents away from public eyes. But the court didn't go for it. The judge ruled against her. The settlement details could not be permanently sealed. That ruling alone sent shockwaves, because it meant the very thing Kim's legal team had fought to keep quiet was now one step closer to becoming public record. And the moment that door cracked open, everything else started spilling out. Because here's the thing about Ray J. He'd been sitting on this for a long time, and when the legal walls started coming down, he started talking publicly, on podcasts, in interviews, through social media.
With a clause saying no one can talk about the tape ever again. Not Kim, not Ray J, not Kris Jenner.
He said that over the years, there had been a significant amount of money, reportedly in the range of $6 million, paid to keep him quiet. Not just about the tape itself, but about what happened before it went public, who knew what, and when they knew it. He was very specific about the allegation that Kim and Kris Jenner, the family's longtime manager and mother, were directly involved in orchestrating what he described as a bribe. Pay him, keep him quiet, control the narrative. That's the claim he put out there. Now, Kim and Kris didn't just let that sit. They hit back hard. Their team moved quickly, filing a defamation lawsuit against Ray J. The argument was straightforward. What he was saying publicly was false, it was damaging, and it was being said with the intent to harm their reputations. Defamation cases are notoriously hard to win, especially against public figures, because you have to prove not just that something was false, but that the person saying it knew it was false or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. Kim's camp clearly felt confident enough in their position to go that route, which tells you they believed his statements went well beyond opinion or exaggeration. But then, and this is where it gets really interesting, Ray J didn't fold. He filed a countersuit. Think about that for a second. He was already the defendant in a defamation case brought by one of the most powerful celebrity families in the world, backed by enormous legal resources and PR machinery. And instead of backing down, he came right back with his own legal action. His countersuit alleged defamation on their part, that Kim's team and Kris had made statements that were false and damaging to him. He essentially said that the narrative being pushed publicly, the one that painted him as the aggressor, as someone trying to exploit the situation for money or attention, was itself defamatory. He was saying, "You're calling me a liar, and that's hurting me too." What this does legally is fascinating, because now both sides are simultaneously claiming to be victims of the other's public statements. Both sides are saying the other said false things that caused harm. Comes almost like a mirror. Defamation versus defamation, and courts have to untangle whose statements were actually false, provably false and harmful enough to warrant damages. It's messy, it's expensive, and it's very, very public. Ray J also pushed back on something else. something that had been floating around in public discourse for a while. Kim had spoken openly about her aspirations to pass the bar exam and become a lawyer. She'd documented the process, talked about studying criminal justice reform, even passed the baby bar on her third attempt. It became this whole redemption arc, this serious-minded public persona shift, from reality TV star to aspiring attorney working on real cases with real consequences. And Ray J, in the middle of all this legal chaos, took aim at that narrative too. His claim was essentially this: Kim's own choices and behavior undermined her chances at becoming a licensed attorney, not anything he did. When you apply for the bar in most states, you go through a character and fitness review. It's not just about whether you can pass the exam. They look at your history, your honesty, your conduct. Ray J's argument was that the legal disputes, the alleged misrepresentations, the questions around the settlement and what was or wasn't disclosed truthfully, all of that was going to be Kim's problem in that review process. And it had nothing to do with him. He was saying, that's a pointed allegation. And whether it's true or not, it reframes the whole story in a way that a lot of people haven't considered. Because Kim had positioned herself as someone who was growing beyond the tabloid image, someone with legitimate professional ambitions in law. If the character and fitness review process becomes complicated by ongoing legal disputes or questions of credibility in sworn statements, that's a real issue, not a PR issue, an actual legal barrier. Ray J wasn't just throwing shade, he was raising a substantive concern, and that's a very different thing. What makes this whole saga so layered is that it keeps pulling back the curtain on how celebrity narratives are managed at the highest level. The sealed settlement wasn't just about privacy, it was about control. When you pay someone and make them sign an NDA or a settlement agreement with confidentiality clauses, you're not just settling a dispute, you're buying a version of the story. You're saying this narrative, the one we've crafted, is the one that stays. And for years, that worked. The public story was the one Kim and her team wanted told. The sealed document ruling changed the calculus. Because once a court says no, you cannot hide this, suddenly the other party, Ray J, feels less bound by the informal understanding that he should stay quiet. Legal scholars have written extensively about how confidential settlements create power imbalances, and this situation illustrates exactly that. The person with more resources can usually afford better lawyers to enforce silence. But courts aren't always willing to play along forever, especially when public interest is involved. There's also the question of Kris Jenner's role in all of this that hasn't been fully resolved publicly. Kris isn't just Kim's mother. She's been the architect of the Kardashian brand for decades. She's the one who managed deals, negotiated contracts, and made the family the media empire it became. Ray J's allegations specifically named her as involved in the financial arrangement he described as a bribe. That's not a small claim. Kris Jenner being directly implicated in a legal dispute involving allegations of paying hush money is the kind of thing that, in any other context, would dominate news cycles for weeks. The fact that it's gotten lost in the broader noise of the Kardashian media universe is itself a testament to how well that machine operates. Both the lawsuit and the countersuit are still working their way through the legal process. Nothing has been fully adjudicated. No judge has ruled definitively that anyone defamed anyone, that money was paid improperly, or that any specific statement was false. What we have right now is a legal war being waged in court filings and also, simultaneously, in the court of public opinion. Because both sides know that winning the narrative matters just as much as winning the case. Ray J has been very deliberate about going public with his version of events. Each interview, each social media post, each countersuit filing keeps his account in circulation and forces Kim's team to respond. It's a strategy, and Kim's team, by filing the defamation suit, essentially elevated Ray J's claims to the level of legal seriousness, which gave them even more media oxygen. There's an argument to be made that filing that suit was a miscalculation. because it legitimized the conversation they were trying to shut down. And now here's what nobody's really asking, but absolutely should be. If this goes to full trial, what gets discovered? In civil litigation, the discovery process can be extraordinarily invasive. Emails, text messages, financial records, communications between lawyers and clients where privilege doesn't apply, all of it can potentially be subpoenaed. The very information that was supposed to stay sealed, the conversations that were supposed to stay private, could end up in front of a judge, and depending on the rulings, potentially in the public record. Kim Kardashian has built a billion-dollar brand on controlling her image. Kris Jenner has spent decades making sure the family's story is told on their terms. Ray J is betting that the legal system